I'm Dr. N. Ramakrishnan, a Senior Consultant in Critical Care Medicine and Sleep Medicine, Director of Critical Care Services at Apollo Hospitals, and Director, Nitra Institute of Sleep Sciences. Sleep is one third of our life. We sleep almost about 8 hours in a day, which is one third of the life, and people assume it's just rest and take it for granted. But there are a lot of changes that happen in our body during sleep. There are changes in our hormones, there are changes in our blood pressure, heart rate, so many different things happen during sleep. So a good night's sleep, not just the quantity, but also the quality of sleep is absolutely essential for us to have a good day. So if you have enough sleep and if you have good quality sleep, you wake up feeling fresh, awake, alert, active, and your day is so much better. Just imagine a day when you don't get a good night's sleep. The next day you wake up feeling restless, having a headache, feeling anxious, not able to concentrate, not able to be productive, and just multiply that by several days. If you have a sleep problem, this could be something that you wake up with every day, which starts impacting on your productivity. And when I say it impacts productivity, it impacts work because you may not be able to concentrate. You may feel sleepy or tired while at work. More importantly, it can also lead to work-related accidents. In fact, some of the largest disasters that have happened in the world have been attributed to sleepy workers who have been operating on equipment. So it is something that's absolutely essential that we feel awake, alert and active to be productive, and for that a good night's sleep is absolutely essential. Now, I think the right word to use is not just productive but safe workers, because when we are working around people, we want to ensure that they are able to concentrate, focus on what they are doing so that they are able to achieve their best but also be safe for themselves and for people around them. When we are driving around, sometimes we notice that people around us may not be able to concentrate, they may be sleepy, and they are unsafe drivers, and they could lead to accidents, not only for themselves but for people who are driving around them as well. So I would really say that sleep problems are not just an individual's problem but truly a public health problem. If people around you are not sleeping well, they are unsafe and they are unproductive, and there is so much that can be achieved by ensuring that people sleep well. When people have a problem like high blood pressure or diabetes, they never hesitate to go to a doctor, get a prescription and take the medications appropriately. When it comes to sleep problems, they often wonder, first of all, do I really need to even see someone for a sleep problem? And secondly, several of them are not aware that there are sleep medicine specialists who are available. But what is even worse is they start taking the treatment in their own hands and start using medications that are used by other family members, or even worse, walk to a pharmacy and ask for a medication that could help them sleep. Now, the real catch here is sometimes they get real sleep medications that are not supposed to be dispensed without a doctor's prescription, but they get them somehow. Even worse, they sometimes get medications that are not necessarily intended for sleep but have sleepiness as a side effect. For example, a cough syrup, which they may start using not for cough but to help them sleep better. And over a period of time, there are a few things that happens. Number one, they start developing tolerance. They start drinking or taking more and more of these medications to help them sleep. The second thing is they also start developing a dependence where they feel that they cannot sleep without whatever they are using, whether it's a real sleep medication or whether it is some other medication with the side effect of sleep. And this leads to them at that stage wanting to come off the medications but finding it extremely difficult. I think it's prudent, number one, to understand that sleep problems are like any other chronic medical problem, whether it is hypertension or diabetes or heart disease. Please see a doctor and take the medications as prescribed. If medications are required, it needs to be supervised and those need to be reduced and stopped when appropriate. Self-medication is probably one of the worst things you could do for sleep problems. As I said, it leads to more complication, and sleep disorders are a significant what we call non-communicable disease like hypertension, like diabetes, like heart disease, like stroke, and need to be treated under supervision. There has been a tremendous focus both from the World Health Organization and several societies, professional societies, on non-communicable diseases. These non-communicable diseases, the moment we think of them, the ones that come to our mind are obesity, which is a huge problem for the entire world now, hypertension, diabetes, in which India particularly is struggling a huge battle because the number of diabetics we have is very large, coronary artery disease, heart disease, stroke, not to forget, cholesterol problems, and there are so many other non-communicable diseases, including cancer. The one non-communicable disease that people forget is actually sleep disorders, which is probably much more common than all of the diseases that I just listed, and can make some of these problems worse. For example, somebody with a hypertension, if they also have a coexisting sleep disorder, their blood pressure may never come under control. And the same with diabetes. There are several poorly controlled diabetics who actually have a coexisting sleep problem like insomnia or sleep apnea. And once we treat the underlying sleep problem, their diabetes comes under much better control. Now, the reason I'm focusing on this is currently, third-party payment or insurance happens predominantly for hospitalized patients. So we are dealing with patients who have actually developed a complication of several of these chronic medical problems, which are actually not being treated or covered by the insurance companies for treatment. Of course, now there are some insurances that are beginning to cover some of the chronic medical problems, and also coverage for cancer treatment is also becoming available. But what we should remember is, if we don't cover treatment for a problem like obstructive sleep apnea, which may require treatment with a machine called CPAP, which a lot of people may find expensive to pay out of pocket, and if we don't treat that, they may end up with a heart attack or they may end up with a stroke, and the insurance covers the treatment for the heart attack or the stroke, which doesn't make any sense. Honestly, if people can be treated in the long term for problems that could potentially lead to complications, that's a much better way of providing appropriate health care, and in the long run makes a lot more sense from a cost standpoint as well, as they would not require major costs incurred for hospitalization with serious complications.